Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zack, and for the last week, I've been driving the 2026 Polestar 4 dual motor. Below me are two electric motors powering this all-electric vehicle. Now, I am super excited to be driving this Polestar 4 for two reasons. First of all, this is only the second Polestar I've ever driven. I've driven the Polestar 3, as well as I have, to be fair, driven Volvos that were Polestar engineered, like the V60 wagon. Love that vehicle, but not true standalone Polestars, so we're doubling the amount of Polestar videos here on the channel today with this Polestar 4. The second reason is the fact that this is an EV, and it has an incredible quirk at the fact that it does not have a rear window. And so today we're going to be talking a lot about that, what it's like to live with, how it is to drive, and how I feel about the Polestar 4. But if you'd like to submit your own vehicle and have it reviewed here on the channel, you can head on over to my website, zackpradel.com/submit. It's a quick and easy submission form. It takes under a minute to fill out, and I come out to you. And if you'd like to see all my videos weeks or sometimes months in advance, you can head on over to my Patreon for only $5 a month. But let's get back to that all-electric drivetrain. Well, Polestar as an independent company, not Polestar engineered vehicles, but dedicated Polestar cars are all electric. This one is rated at 280 miles, which I've found to be pretty true. Driving it here in the month of June, I don't really have to worry about cold weather, so that range has stayed pretty close to its true value. It is powerful. You can find these in single motor for cheaper, but this is the dual motor, so it is all-wheel drive, and it has that beefed up performance. It is very, very quick in a straight line, and I have to say, for an EV, it actually handles the corners better than I expected. It is a lot of fun to drive, especially on a nice back road, which you don't often find with electric vehicles, so that is a huge upside here for the Polestar 4. Visibility out the front is decent. Visibility out the back, as you might imagine, isn't wonderful, but we do have a digital rear view mirror and side mirrors that help out. The ride quality is nice. Throttle response is good, especially when you put it into performance mode, but even outside of performance mode, it has good throttle response. And overall, driving the Polestar 4 is really, really great. Of the EVs I've driven, this is definitely top tier, at least in terms of driving feel. With that stuff out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have a digital dashboard. You can customize this around. You can put your map in it, which is really nice. You can keep an eye on your autonomous driving. You can keep an eye on your adaptive cruise. Bunch of information here. The one thing that I wish that was on this page was which side of the car your charge port is on, like you would find in old school gas cars. I wish that they added that. On the steering wheel, on the left, we have our adaptive cruise control settings, and off to the right, we have our voice commands, volume and selectors, as well as the pages, things like that. These arrows will do a multitude of different things, and we'll talk about that in a second. The overall steering wheel is nice. I love the Polestar logo, feels fresh and modern, which is good to see. Off to the left, we just have a climate control vent. That's it. And moving on to the door, we have the latch to get in and out, power locks and power windows, but that's also it. Up in the center, we do have a Harman Kardon speaker for the Harman Kardon sound system. It is very, very nice. Big fan of the sound system here. However, I do wish that it got the sound system from like the XC90, because that really brings the house down. But now we're gonna pull over here to talk about the infotainment, because there is so much to talk about. All right, so let's talk about this infotainment, because there is a lot going on. First of all, we do have Google built in. It is very nice, very quick, and it will tell you your range upon arrival if you plan to go somewhere and back. So let's just search up Cloudgate, which is the Bean, downtown Chicago. So if we were to drive there, it would take almost an hour, 60% there, and if we come back, we would have 70 or 47% on the way back. That is very, very nice. We also have a lot of things going on over here. We do have our smartphone connect Bluetooth. Appears as though someone is having a worse day than me. But we do have Bluetooth and stuff. I think it's only a problem for me because I'm on a guest profile and I don't have my own profile because this is a press loan. But every single time I get in the car, I have to reconnect my phone. So I have to go through here, go to settings, find my phone, connect. Continue. If I want Apple CarPlay, It's going to cycle, and it will shut off my recording. See, it does this terms of service every single time, so I have to click yes while using app. Yes, allow. Yes, allow. If I don't do that, it won't let me accept, and I can't use Apple CarPlay. So now accept, and there we go. Now it is on Apple CarPlay, but it's kind of annoying to do so. We also do have our climate controls ran through the screen. They're okay. I wish that there was a physical fan speed, or that fan speed was left at some point down here. It always pulls it up no matter what. We do have our heated and ventilated seats as well as massage seats, and we can also fine-tune our massage. We do upper back and standard or intense things like that. Come back over here. One really cool thing about this infotainment is, where is it? Go to home. Ambiance. So you can't see it right now because it's during the day, but the ambiance is set to planet. So this is basically the interior color that you'll have, and I'll cycle through video now. I think this is a really, really cool way of doing it. It makes you feel a little bit more special. Not that you're just picking blue or red or pink or whatever. It adds a little bit of character to it. I think this is really freaking cool. And as you'll notice, it has the average temperature, day length, diameter, and gravity of each planet. So like if you have kids that are obsessed with the solar system right now, or just like for general knowledge, it's really, really cool to learn this stuff. I had no idea that the day length on the sun is 601 hours. That's crazy. That gravity is 28 times the gravity of Earth. I had no idea. So that is very, very cool. You do also have like the glove box, like it's power opening for the glove box. For drive, we have all of our drive modes, power delivery, one pedal driving and things like that. But what's really annoying is where is it? I don't even know where it is. Mirrors. So to adjust your mirrors, you have to select it on here, and then you can adjust them with this. There's no mirror adjustment anywhere else. You have to select it through the screen. Then these become your mirror adjustments so you can adjust your side mirrors. I think that that's way too complicated, and it doesn't need to be. That's the majority of this. I will throw on the backup camera so you can see, and you also do get a pretty high-res 360 camera, which is very, very nice. So I guess that is a positive. Moving beyond that, I know that was quite a bit of a mouthful. We do have a giant vent. We have a wireless charger, volume knob, as well as a play and pause button, and our cup holders. So we will do a big friggin' bottle test here in the Polestar 4. And sadly, it just barely fails in the rear cup holder. It is larger than the front cup holder, so they are asymmetrical. And it goes in a little bit, but not deep enough, and it kept falling out if I ever took a corner. So sadly, the Polestar 4 fails, but it comes very close, and I think they are really good cup holders beyond that. Then we do have a center console with 2 USB-Cs found in there, and then we have the seats. The seats are comfortable, they are Nappa leather, and they are a $3,700 option. So if you want to take $3,700 off your price tag, just don't option for the Nappa leather. I think that they're nice and great. I don't know if they're $3,700 nice and great, but they are good. And they are massage as well as heated and ventilated, so they are really, really comfortable for longer journeys. However, speaking of seats, we do have back seats. So let's go do a back seat review. All right, let's get in the back of the Polestar 4. I have not actually sat back here yet. And here we are. So right off the bat, you see this Polestar 4 100% trace leather animal welfare secured. Really like that. We also do have climate vents on the B pillars. Love to see that. We get to enjoy this opaque roof. And of course, we do get the nice leather, the nice pattern back here. We get a center console that folds down. We have our seat reclining adjustments back here, as well as a front cup holder that does not want to come out. There we go. We also get our climate controls back here. We get our positioning and rear heated seats, temperature, fan speed, and you can change the song, skip, go back, all of that. Really, really nice to see. Obviously, the most notable thing about the back, well, first of all, headroom good, knee room good, I fit back here well, is that there's no window behind me. And we're gonna talk about driving with that here in a second, but it does create kind of a luxurious experience back here. You feel like you're kind of in a limousine rather than just a regular car. So that was really, really cool. That is really, really cool. There's also ambient lighting back here that will light up, and that really looks and feels very special at night. So I will say this no rear window nonsense does have a really cool benefit, but we'll talk about if the benefits outweigh the downsides. However, let's hop into the very back. We'll take a look at the trunk and hatch sort of thing, and then we'll talk about the looks. All right, around the back of the Polestar 4 dual motor, big chunky button right there for the power operated tailgate. Once we are into the back, very, very spacious. You can open this up to the rear seats. So if you want to pull this back and you need to access something from the back, it's nice that you could do that, or you can just leave that up in place like that. You do have a 12-volt outlet over there, some netting, speakers, and we can lift this up. You do get your at-home charger and whatnot. This is just kind of a board, so you got to kind of flip it up like that. Overall, it's decently spacious, definitely a nice amount of room. It is weird just looking up here and just seeing the Polestar logo and not a window. It's just very strange looking, but besides that, it's functional as a trunk. Does its job, and I like that. We can hit this button and it will come right back down. It is a power operated tailgate, which is definitely nice to see, and I would expect out of an $80,000 car. We also do have a frunk. You pop it from inside like you would a normal hood, and then you have this little compartment, and that's all the space that you get. So nothing too crazy. You do have one, but more so on paper than anything else. So there you go. That is the front cargo space of the Polestar 4. Now we gotta talk about the looks, and I really like the look of the Polestar 4. I think it has its own brand identity, which is nice. I think within the Polestar lineup, it gets a little bit muddy. I think the 3 and the 4 kind of look similar to one another, and when I say kind of look similar, I think they're gosh darn ringers for each other. But I think they're handsome. I like the color, you know, and I like the fact that they put the kilowatt hour, some of the specs on the door. I think that's a cool little touch. So I like that part of it. With all of that being said, let's get on to my final thoughts. What do I think driving the Polestar 4 for the last week? Well, I have to say it's been a relatively positive experience. I like the driving feel. I like how quick it is. I like the handling of it. I like how modern it feels. I like how different it feels. You know, you step into this car and you don't go, oh, it's another EV. It's the same ingredients mishmashed into a different pile of X, Y, or Z. No, it actually feels different and modern. I like that. I don't like the infotainment. I don't like the UI. I think it's more frustrating than it needs to be. I think it's more annoying than it needs to be. And there have been a couple of glitches here and there. One time it just randomly canceled my Apple CarPlay for no reason. I had to pull over to reconnect it. One time it froze on the massage screen. That was kind of weird. And one time the whole screen just went black, and 3 seconds later it came back. So I don't know what that was. I think the UI and the infotainment needs work. But now let's talk about the elephant in the room, the elephant behind me. Well, I wouldn't really know if there was an elephant behind me because I don't have a rear window. How has it been to drive and live and operate without a back windshield? Honestly, 9 out of 10 experiences has been totally fine and normal. With the digital rear view mirror and the side mirrors, you're fine. I've driven box trucks and workers' vans and vehicles without rear windows, and so this is really no different. I think Polestar actually gives you more ammunition to fight with, giving you that digital rear view mirror. The Chevy Express work van doesn't have a digital rear view mirror, at least the ones that I've driven. So that's a nice touch. The only time that it really was an issue was backing out of my own driveway. My garage is behind my house and it's kind of at a weird angle. And so backing out, normally I sit up in my seat and look completely backwards to not hit my own house. I couldn't do that here, and the mirrors weren't seeing the edge of the house, and the rear camera wasn't seeing the edge of the house. And so I kind of knew where it was, but I didn't fully know. The parking sensors gave me an idea, but it was just frustrating because it wasn't a problem that I really needed. If this car had a rear window, I'm sure it would be just as efficient. I think it would look just as fine. So there's no huge benefit to having no rear window besides that rear seat experience. And I will say that rear seat experience is special. I drove a bunch of friends to our other friend's wedding. Congratulations to the Mossbergs. And they love the back. I mean, especially at night with the lights going, I think it was a really, really special experience. It felt more like a Maybach or a limousine sitting in the back with no rear window. You're in this like little self-contained cave, and I love that. But I don't think that that benefit really outweighs the downside of not having a rear windshield. Was it a problem every single day? No, it was literally only a problem twice. So it's not a huge issue, but again, an issue that didn't need to exist, which is why I harped on it for as long as I did. Overall, I have to say that the Polestar 4 is a pretty competent vehicle. It did everything I wanted it to do. It was pretty spot on with its range estimates. It looks decent enough. And honestly, 80 grand is expensive, but it's not out of this world like some of the cars that I've tested here this year, so that is certainly nice. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Polestar for letting me borrow their Polestar 4 for the last week. Huge thank you to Drive Shop for facilitating the cleaning and delivery of this vehicle, and of course, the Midwest Automotive Media Association. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.